Hello, you legendary friends. I'm with my pal Richard Thomas from Melbourne, Australia. And how are you today, Richard?
I'm great, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, loving life, and yeah, loving the outdoors.
Now, Richard, you are a leading authority when it comes to digital marketing, automation, chatbots, and more.
Sure. Yeah. Well, look, I suppose getting back to the natural backdrop, I actually grew up on a farm, so I've always had that sort of natural environment in me. My previous profession was as a landscape architect, so I've always had that as part of my life, my being. So I love getting outdoors. But look, yeah, where I am now is sort of transitioning over to this whole digital lifestyle, which is the more the artificial stuff, I guess. But I like to bring all that understanding of the natural environment with me.
And out of pure interest, what made you go from landscape architect to digital marketer? What triggered you to make that transition?
It really came about through the GFC, actually. So I was just sort of harking back to those times when it was very tough for a lot of people, and I lost my job at that point, and looking for something to sort of take over where I could spend more time with the family, be a bit more location independent, all that kind of stuff. So, and digital marketing was one of the things that sort of took my fancy. The interesting thing, how does landscape architect fit with digital marketing? Well, as it happens, I spent a lot of my landscape architect career actually doing IT support. Just have this natural affinity, even right from my sort of high school days, early university days. Always found myself on the computer doing stuff. So software understanding software comes naturally to me. So sort of in that way, it's an easy transition across. And so, that's sort of where I found myself moving across from, basically as a result of the GFC.
Wow. And of course, as well, for the sake of the audience, we're doing this interview in early 2021. Obviously, 2020 was a crazy year of lockdown and more. What did 2020 and the whole global situation, what big digital marketing automation secrets did you learn from probably the craziest year of our lives?
Well, there weren't, in terms of my world, there wasn't any great advances. I think the biggest shift was probably in other businesses realizing they needed to do stuff that they hadn't been doing. So obviously, a lot of people were forced to go and do stuff online, which they hadn't been doing previously, and especially like say for businesses that run in-person events, stuff like that, having to run it online, and then there's the whole lead generation side of it, which you can't just go out and meet face to face. So you got to find people online, and that's what I help people do.
Now, a lot of people watching would have just immediately thought, wow, how do you do that? How do you get leads online? So to make it easy for our audience, if someone who watches this, and I do encourage you to do this, let's say they speak to you or they hire you, how will you help them get leads? Tell us how that works and what your big secrets are that you're willing to share, at least.
Yeah. Look, nothing's a secret. I mean, everything that I've learned is come through other people. So this is, I suppose, the unique way we put all these bits and pieces together for our own selves to make it work. So look, where I'm at now is I've called myself a digital mechanic, and that's really come about through through some psychometric testing that I've done. I've done Myers-Briggs in my sort of corporate world more, but also the mechanics mindset comes from wealth dynamics testing, which classes me as a mechanic, sort of on that edge between creativity and it's the bridge between creativity and the analytical side. So, which really describes me to a T. So for me, it's about being able to look at something and find the holes, make things work together. So it's part creativity, part analytical, doing the legwork, the hard work, the research. And that's where I find myself. So for me, it's working with a client to find out where the holes are. What are they doing now that's not working or not working? Whether it's they might have, say, some emails that they send out. They might have sort of website bits and pieces. A lot of the times, though, doesn't all hang together very well as a solid online presence. So it's about finding gaps. And particularly these days, one of the new technologies that's out there is chatbots, which is my real specialty, and that sort of fills in another blank of being able to generate and start and continue the conversations with potential customers. And I think that's where we're at. People need to be able to generate those real conversations with their potential customers rather than just trying to go and spam everybody and generate sort of leads that are not really connected. So that's my approach, is trying to generate those conversations to bring in those customers.
So you look at the whole marketing mix, identify the problems. Before I dig into chatbots, I just want to ask you, before I talk chatbots, what are some of the most common problems that you deal with?
Look, I mean, a lot of the time I find business owners don't actually have the time to really sit down and get things done properly. So they might have, as I say, piece of things done. They might have a few emails done, but it doesn't really hang together in terms of their whole sales sequence. They might have a landing page, but it's it's not connected properly. So they have. I think that's the problem. They either don't have the time to do things properly, or they don't have the time to, or they don't have the knowledge to actually really make things work. So, it's improving. A lot of the time, it's just improving on what they've already got.
Gotcha. So you look over a whole person and or company's digital marketing strategy, and you'd find the top areas to go for to give them the best results and help them achieve what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And of course, there's other areas of digital marketing that I don't cover. So then I have to bring in my associates to do that. Things like, say, the copywriting side of things, or social media marketing, as in doing the actual posting online. That's not my core. I know how to do it, but it's not my core strategy. So I like to focus on the things that I do, and then bring in other people to do the rest, the other stuff.
Very good. And tell us about chatbots. Awesome, Richard.
Yeah, well, if you're wondering what a chatbot is, it's basically an automated conversation that happens. It's like a pre-built conversation that happens. Runs either. The ones I do are particularly through Facebook Messenger. They can run on other platforms. Typically, you might find them on a website, that little chat box that pops up in the corner. Or if you go to a business's Facebook page where they have the send message button, that's another way to activate it through there, where you click send message, and it's a joint jumps into a conversation that's where you have pick answers, and it takes you through whether it's fact finding or providing information of some sort. In terms of actual lead generation, we can run Facebook ads, or even do the old school direct mail, where you have a link on there or a QR code that takes people into a conversation, again to gather some information and get them started on that chain, that path towards becoming a customer. Ooh. So it's hard to describe, but it's essentially like you sitting down with your Facebook Messenger talking to a friend. It's kind of like that, except it's just automated.
Very, very exciting. And I'm going to say, I love what you're about, Richard. And what are some of your big closing thoughts to our wonderful audience to help them really win big in digital and automation in 2021?
I would say one of the big things for me is to be genuine in who you are. Don't try and sort of put a false, false front on your business, because people soon pick up on it. So, but again, try and generate realistic conversations, genuine conversations with your clients, whether that's through email or through chat, the chat interface, or even on your website. Again, I see so many websites that just probably 95% of them, you go to the homepage and they're all about, this is how great we are. It's not solving the problem of your customer and helping them see how to solve that problem.
Richard, absolute gold. I just want to say a big thank you. And I was just going to say, if you're watching, friends, get in contact with Richard. Tell him you saw him in this interview. And Richard, I want to give the closing last word to you.
Just like to wish everybody a great 2021, and it is going to be another year, I think, of being digital, being online. We're not going to go back to a real life way of doing things fully anytime soon. So just be consistent on that digital front, and don't worry about if it seems like an overwhelming task. just take it step by step. You'll get there eventually.